Yeah, most definitely, man. So basically, right now, with the whole like situation with the Ontario election, Doug Ford won a second time, which I don't think we're gonna celebrate anymore. I guess we could say like the whole the two-term situation with Obama, like how there was like this meme where Obama had the two-term meme. With the whole like 2 Chainz situation. I think that's the same with like Doug Ford right now. But one of the most surprising things too is that only 33% of the actual like registered voters actually like voted, and I think the rest just kind of stopped for a bit. So how did you react for him winning the second term and only like 33% of Ontario like voting?
Yo, we all gonna fucking die. This man can't even fucking check his own email, okay? And he's in for a second term? Like, no. What the fuck are we doing? And then the 33% thing, well, let me tell you a story. I went to go vote first thing in the fucking morning. First thing. Them bitches open at 9 a.m. My polling station, they were inexplicably closed. There was a line around the block, and we're all just standing there with our dicks in our hands like, what's going on? Turns out the reporting officer for that polling station, who is the person in charge of making all of the decisions, and everyone else is essentially a volunteer, quit the morning of the election. And they quit, and then the internet cut out. And so that polling station had no fucking clue what to do for 40 goddamn minutes. And a bunch of people dipped. So we just saw a bunch of votes walk away. And I wouldn't be surprised if goofy shit like that happened at multiple locations. Because Dougie doesn't play fair. He's a coke dealer from the suburbs. And those fat fucking motherfuckers, I don't want to bring it to a body shaming place, but those motherfuckers don't play fair. They are the kids who bring their Monopoly board and then change the rules halfway through and then storm out when you start winning.
Most definitely. I mean, I think the best situation that actually happened was that Mark Saunders, who used to be the former chief, he didn't win. I'm glad someone else won over him. Rob Ford's, not Doug Ford's nephew, actually won in like York, Southwestern, I think, and then a whole lot of other people won.
Nepotism.
But yeah. I think the Etobicoke North situation where Doug Ford is like based out of. So one situation was that I think Karima Saad from Twitter, like well-known like lawyer and well-known activist in a sense too. So she recorded that I think no one was checking IDs like at some of the polling stations that they were at, and I guess there were like some free votes like right there for Doug to win in that sense too. So
see what I mean? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, they didn't really like. We had our IDs, but like for example, when my girl voted, they showed her that her vote was counted, right? But they didn't show me that. So I don't know if my vote was counted or not, you know? So when they like try to frame that 33% only showed up, I think it's more that you fucks harvested the shit down and whittled it down to such a unusable polling service that the remaining percent of that fucking figure, what is it, 67%, is fucking just inadmissible votes, glitchery, bullshit. Yeah, a bunch of people didn't show up. I thought of not showing up because I'm like, this is a farce. I did show up and I was correct. It was a farce. But you know what? I still did it because I'd rather have done it and be mad but still have it under my belt than feel like an asshole. So, yeah, you know, we're not going to celebrate it. Your political prowess is a lot further than mine. I've noticed a couple people have stepped down, which I'm always happy about. But it does really feel like a game of just like, all right, well, what are you going to do, bro? You going to eat the dog turd, or are you going to let us beat on you? You know, and it's like, do I really, these are my choices? Like, okay, shit, fuck. I guess I'll take the beating.
it's more so like a game of like Squid Games mixed in with Total Drama Island in that sense too, where a lot of bullshit could happen for reality, you know? So I think even with this whole situation, what was I gonna say? So even with the whole situation with Del Duca and Horwath, resigning too in that sense, and I think even like this idea of espionage, I don't know if you ever felt like the Conservatives did like some espionage like to rig the votes in that sense too. Like, it's kind of like a weird conspiracy like that I had for a bit, like with the whole like situation going on.
I wouldn't put it past. I kind of assume everyone's playing a little dirty. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a scary time, and I think we have far too much power in the hands of people less capable than we. And you know what they say, right? It's like those who refuse to govern will be governed by those less than them, or some sort of rendition of that. And I feel like that's where we're at now.
Most def. Just to even speak forth on Del Duca and Horwath resigning, how did you feel? Like, how do you feel about that sense too? And do you feel like there might be some hope for the Ontario government to have better leaders in next year's election, or at least a better interim leader for the NDP and like Liberal parties like right now?
I hope so. I certainly hope someone a little more involved is going to come. I kind of look at like political candidates like people that audition on Shark Tank, you know? But like they're the people who come to Shark Tank with no preparation. And they're like, "Well, I have this idea." And then everyone in Shark Tank is like, "Well, you haven't started your idea yet, so there's nothing to invest in." I feel like they're coming to us like, "You need to invest all of your votes into me, and then I'm going to do a thing." Versus a winning recipe has always been, "I am already doing this thing. If you like it and want it to be bigger and better, invest in me." And that's how I think we should treat political candidates. It's like people who don't roll through and promise that they're going to fix things, people who try and fix things already.
No, most definitely. Hopefully we'll see how it works out. Maybe it might be better for Ford in a sense too. I don't think so, but hopefully something might work in that sense too. But it is what it is, you know.
We'll see what happens.
Most definitely. So I've talked about the same question with Skeeves like just a while back, but how do you feel about Toronto going back to some sort of like normal right now with everything opening up, shows coming back, people going back to their office jobs and all that? Do you feel like it'll just be like what it was pre-pandemic, or do you disagree?
I'm holding like the dialectic that we might have to go back into another shutdown, just because there's always all these variants going on, and I just feel like this shit's too good to be true. I think we've all just gotten to the point where everyone's like, "Okay, whatever happens will happen," and as a society, which is a little fucked up, admittedly. It's nice that things are kind of like back in motion. Obviously, there's a lot of learning. I think everyone is like gonna have a lot of work to do, and I'm scared that a bunch of people aren't going to do that work, and I don't know what that's gonna make the streets look like. It's also about to be a very hot summer, so that's going to compile on top of it. So stay safe out there, everybody, because it might be a crazy fucking summer. Everyone's been pent up for 2 years, and now they're about to go out. So crazy shit. I think that not to be pessimistic, but I feel like we're just gonna see a slow decline from here on out, and everything is just there's gonna be news reports every day about how, all right, well, water's privatized now, or the fucking dogs are extinct. It's just really bleak news,
There's a lot of out of pocket stuff going on right now in the city with kids bringing pellet guns to school, shooting it at random people. Some guy getting killed by the police for carrying a random pellet rifle and being executed for it. Kids throwing I think fireworks at police vans and all that, rocket launchers too. Actual fire rocket launchers, not the whole actual RPGs and all that. And then Rolling Loud coming to Toronto and all these festivals coming back. How do you feel about what's going on in Toronto right now, even with these types of situations?
Kids are dumb. They always do dumb shit, man. They not all of them, but bro, I used to fight with fireworks when I was a teenager. We used to do wizard battles and shit. Some of us preferred to do that kind of shit in less public places so that you wouldn't hurt anyone. I don't think I think people aren't as good at what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a cost analysis, but like people aren't good at gauging what the consequences of their actions are gonna be lately. I don't know what the fuck it is. I think it's social media and clout chasing, maybe. I think that itch for attention makes you do dumb shit that gets you in trouble down the line, like throwing chairs off a balcony. So yeah, if there's wizard fights and shit going on in public places and people are getting hurt, that's teenagers, bruh. That's fucked up about the police, though. I mean, not surprising either, but like the pellet gun thing in high school, like I had a pellet gun in high school. No one should die for it. It was dumb of me to own it. I definitely overpaid for it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like the last interview that you had with this other artist, and you guys talked about like how in high school, like the teacher was like absent for a bit, and like kids were either like fighting or doing random like BS at school.
That was a wild year. Yeah, that was grade 8. That was like the third week of grade 8. Our homeroom teacher, who was also our English, history, math, and social studies teacher, I think. She was like our everything teacher. Got pregnant and then left the whole year. And then we had this substitute who was in over her head, and we just did crossword puzzles like the whole fucking year. Except that like there'd always be a fight every time. And it was like funny watching her try to get two kids that are taller than her to try to stop fighting.